As with a personal budget, where money is spent certainly reveals an individual's priorities. The same holds true if you study a school system's budget. It communicates the priorities, vision, and overall goals of the school district. A school system's budget can be challenging to understand and communicate to others. Often, there are assumptions about spending and sources of income for the school system that are completely inaccurate. I would like to provide you with some accurate information about our budget and the process that goes into creating the budget for Alexander County Schools. The first important step to understanding a school system's budget is to recognize that public school systems have no way of generating revenue or raising money. All public school systems rely on funding from three primary sources: federal, state, and local funding. Tax money at every level is used to generate public school funding. Each year during the months of February through April, school systems across North Carolina are preparing budgets and making requests for local funding for the upcoming school year. School administrators, the chief finance officer, the board's budget committee, and I have been working on our district's budget for several months. It's a tedious process that requires collaboration with each of the school's administrators and district's departments to identify the needs of our students. Today's presentation could be entitled School System Budgets 101. I will follow up with 2 additional video messages that detail the requests made to the county commissioners for the 2018-19 school year and how federal, state, and local funding sources are used to make up our system's annual budget. I want you to understand how our annual budget is spent. With this pie chart, I hope you can see that we spend a large percentage of the annual budget on employees. 84% of our budget was spent on employee salaries and their benefits, such as health care costs and retirement, during the 2017-18 school year. This expenditure covers all staff: our teachers, teacher assistants, clerical staff, custodians, school administrators, bus drivers, maintenance and bus garage staff, substitute teachers, and the central office staff. We spend 8% of our budget on supplies and materials, 7% on purchased services, and 1% on capital outlay. Ideally, all public school systems want the majority of their budget to be spent on the people that make educating students their priority. All of the groups I mentioned above are needed for a school system to be effective, and let's face it, great schools require a lot of money to operate. The U.S. Constitution leaves the responsibility for public K-12 education with the states. As you can see in the next pie chart, 64% of our system's funding comes from the state of North Carolina. The next largest piece of the pie for our system is Fund 2. That's often called the Current Expense Fund, made up of the local appropriation from the county commissioners and fines and forfeitures that are collected. Federal funding in specific areas from the federal government totals 6% of our annual budget. This funding includes Title I, a grant for elementary and secondary school programs for children of low-income families; Title II funding, which is earmarked for professional development for teachers and administrators; Exceptional Children's funding for children with disabilities; and English language learner funding for children that do not speak English as their primary language. Our child nutrition program comprises 7% of our annual budget, while our capital outlay makes up only 2% of our annual budget. Fund 8 totals 6% of the budget and includes grant funding such as the School Nurse Grant, the Head Start Grant, NC Pre-K funding, ROTC, Medicaid reimbursements, activity buses, school facility rentals, contributions and donations, and other things of this nature. States and local counties are the primary sources of K-12 education funding and always have been. North Carolina has 115 school districts, sometimes referred to as local educational agencies, or LEAs. Alexander County Schools is one of the 115 school districts and is a small rural school system comprised of approximately 5,000 students in grades pre-K through early college. I would also note that the school system is the largest employer in Alexander County. I hope this school system budget video has helped you to better understand the funding sources provided to our school system and the things that the money is used for each year. With all funding added together, our total annual budget for the system typically equals between $46 and $48 million. Thank you.